you so much, Mr. Ye, Councillor Han, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to be here to represent the Swedish Trade and Invest Council, also called Business Sweden. My name is Fred Gardenfeld. I spent 6 years living in China until last year in Beijing and Shanghai, and have witnessed many of the things mentioned by previous speakers. And the previous speakers, I think, in an excellent way summarized the trade and investment relations between China and Sweden. I will only make a very few additional points to this. First, as Councillor Han said, the trade relationship between Sweden and China is very, very strong, increasing very rapidly. Exports grew 27% last year, now almost 60 billion Swedish crowns last year. We are on track to surpass the exports to the United States. And last year, exports to China already surpassed exports to France and Belgium, traditionally very strong exports markets for Sweden. But the 60 billion, those are only the exports. We also have to consider the total revenue of Swedish companies in China, since many have production in China and other services, which is 350 billion Swedish crowns. So a lot more. And this represents about 10% of all Swedish companies' combined global revenue. 10% of their sales is in China, which is a lot. And for a few companies, it's a lot higher. Companies like Volvo Cars, Tetra Pak, Autoliv already count China as their #1 market. And as Councillor Han said, the number of Chinese companies coming to Sweden is also growing rapidly, which we very much welcome as a partner for innovation and really bringing forth the new next generation of products. So in total, there are 600 Swedish companies present in China, but many, many more, thousands of more, doing business with China through platforms like the Canton Fair. And of course, we want to see that number grow. My final reflection based on the years I've spent in China is the change in which Swedish companies and Swedish people talk about China as a partner for production, innovation and development. And I think the conversation has very much shifted towards innovation and co-creation, and really seeing China not only as a place to produce, but also a place to innovate, and also the place to produce the very best products you can make. I frequently hear business leaders say that in China is really their production facilities in China really are at the same or sometimes even over the level of Swedish operations. That's also the reason why many are keeping their operations in China rather than just moving them to other more low-cost countries, because China really offers not just the good production but also logistical advantages. You will find the whole supply chain there, and it's simply convenient. Very much thanks to platforms like the Canton Fair. The Swedish Trade and Invest Council, Business Sweden, we are present in Beijing and Shanghai. We are owned half by the government, half by Swedish business. And our purpose is to support Swedish companies' global revenue, also support foreign companies investing in Sweden. And we are very much involved in the Import Expo in Shanghai, organizing putting together the national pavilion and supporting all the companies joining that. And that will be a fantastic opportunity to really take the next step in our relations. Canton Fair is already extremely strong in terms of its reputation among Swedish business community. It's a very famous platform, and that will continue to be so. So I think both these platforms will play a very important role going forward. So that will be it for me, and I wish you all the best, and thank you very much. And I also hope to be able to visit Canton Fair sometime in the future. Maybe perhaps not this year, but maybe next year. Thank you so much.